Hi, ParatonWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday morning, August 27th. Unfortunately, the news is still not good for the northern Gulf Coast. Looks like a powerful hurricane is likely to make landfall sometime late in the upcoming weekend, probably in the northern Gulf Coast. Odds favor landfall somewhere around the Louisiana coastline, but all residents from Texas all the way to the Florida Panhandle must continue to monitor this system closely. It is now a strong tropical storm named Ida. It has maximum sustained winds at last report at 60 miles per hour, not too far away from being classified as a Category 1 hurricane. There are strong signs that this system will undergo rapid intensification once it gets by the western part of Cuba out over the very warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. It could deepen rapidly early this weekend before making landfall late in the upcoming weekend. Again, odds favor a landfall right around Louisiana coastline, but all residents along the Gulf Coast must continue to monitor this situation. Not all models have that same solution. The NAM model, for example, has the system going farther to the north and west into Texas by the end of the upcoming weekend. Right now, I don't believe that model. I think it's an outlier here. We'll talk about the GFS and the European model runs in a couple of minutes here. This is the latest visible satellite imagery loop from College of Dupage, a much healthier looking system than 24 hours ago, just to the southwest of the western part of Cuba. This is the island of Cuba right here. The waters are very warm over the Caribbean Sea as well, but it certainly can be inhibited from intensification over the next 12 hours or so as it passes over the western part of Cuba. However, once it gets by Cuba, out over the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico, again, all signs point to some rapid intensification. Here again is Tropical Storm Ida, maximum sustained winds 60 miles per hour, moving to the northwest right now at about 15 miles per hour. And you can see some bubbling up right near the center. Ultimately, there will be an eye, I'm sure, over the Gulf of Mexico with Ida. Well, here's the latest look at the tropical scene in terms of the positioning of the tropical systems. There are two out over the Atlantic. Not to worry about those right now. They are not going to affect any land mass anytime soon. This is, of course, the main area of concern. Again, Tropical Storm Ida, maximum sustained winds now of 60 miles per hour. Looks like it crosses over western Cuba and then spills out over the very warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. We've talked about a couple different factors that really favor development. One are the water temperatures. The Gulf of Mexico, very warm normally this time of the year, but as it turns out, they're actually above normal for the latter part of August. Most places 85 degrees and above. Very conducive to supporting a hurricane, even supporting a major hurricane. Again, in this stretch right here, it ought to go through some rapid intensification. We'll see the millibar drop as depicted by last night's GFS model run. That is not a good sign when you have an intensifying storm within 24 hours of landfall as it closes in on land. Again, right now odds favor somewhere around the southern Louisiana area by the latter part of Sunday, but of course all residents in this section right here must get ready, prepare, because certainly it's still a couple days away. There can be some deviations. Again, the NAM model actually has it going right into Texas at this particular time, but that is an outlier. Most model forecasts have it going into the Louisiana coastline late Sunday night time frame. Well, here are the actual sea surface temperatures as we speak. Not the anomalies, but the actual temperatures in Celsius. All this 30 degrees and above is technically 86 degrees Fahrenheit and above. So very warm water in this part of the Gulf of Mexico. This is warm normally this time of the year, but it's actually above normal for this time of the year. This is certainly favorable for intensification as long as you have the atmospheric conditions favorable, and they certainly will be in this particular instance. Again, warm waters now over the Caribbean Sea as well. Not quite as warm as what we're seeing in the northwestern Gulf, but the encounter with the landmass of western Cuba will tend to inhibit intensification over the next few hours. But once it gets by Cuba later on tonight and into the early part of tomorrow, this system, Ida, is very likely to undergo some rapid intensification. Well, let's take a look at one other factor that is certainly supportive of tropical activity in the Gulf of Mexico. We've talked about the red flag that high pressure ridging produces whenever it's over southeastern Canada this time of the year, right in the heart of the hurricane season. This is the forecast map from the 6Z GFS for Saturday evening. High pressure sitting right in this region at the middle part of the atmosphere, 500 millibars, and that just opens the door for tropical activity to flow from the southeast to the northwest into the Gulf of Mexico. And again, right now, odds favor a track right into the southern part of Louisiana, but all residents in the Gulf coastal region from the Florida Panhandle to Texas should continue to closely monitor this situation. But again, high pressure at the upper part of the atmosphere combined with sea surface temperatures above normal for this time of the year, both favorable factors for development of a system in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, let's now take a look at a couple different model runs. We're looking at the 6Z European, the GFS model here, and then we'll take a look at the last night's European model run just to see its particular forecasted track of Ida. This is as we begin the day on Friday morning here. So let's move out here. Notice the storm system approaching western Cuba. By the way, before I forget, the mid-Atlantic region will undergo some more hot and humid weather today, and there's certainly the chance for some torrential rainfall anywhere in the mid-Atlantic region from late today through tonight, through the day on Saturday and Saturday night. Watch out for some localized flooding. Any thunderstorm can reach strong to severe levels in the mid-Atlantic region. Do not want to ignore what's going on up north in the mid-Atlantic region. That's all due to the stalling out frontal system that will just stall out in the mid-Atlantic region. Again, torrential rainfall possible late today, tonight, tomorrow, places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, all associated with a stalled out frontal system. Now, let's refocus on Ida. Here it is over the western tip of Cuba by later on today. Notice the millibar, 990 millibars right now on the this particular GFS model run. Whenever we talk about rapid intensification, really is a technical term for it. It's 24 millibar drop in a 24-hour period. Kind of classifies it as a rapid intensification. And take a look at what happens here. 990 millibars over western Cuba as of this evening. Just intensifies here at 980 millibars by tomorrow morning, and here at 968 millibars by tomorrow evening. This is Saturday evening. Again, we're talking about the possibility of this system becoming a major hurricane. That is Category 3 or above. Winds damage can increase exponentially when you go from Category 1, let's say, all the way up to a Category 3 or 4. And the worst thing you want to see is rapid intensification just before landfall. Those are certainly the worst kind of storms here. Now down to 962. Remember, it was 990 millibars here over western Cuba. This is now going into Sunday morning, 958 millibar. Certainly rapid intensification over these very, very warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. This is Sunday morning on the doorstep of southern Louisiana at this time, all the way down to a 955 millibar storm system, and then 951 just before landfall late in the day on Sunday, according to this particular model run, the 6Z GFS. And by the way, the GFS has had a pretty good handle on things, and it did last week with respect to Tropical Storm Henri. In fact, it kind of caught on earlier than the Euro in terms of pushing it towards the southern part of New England. So this is certainly a valid reason to take a look at the GFS model run. This is the forecast map. A powerful hurricane by the time we get to late in the day, Sunday evening, right on the doorstep of southern Louisiana. Then it will turn to the north and northeast, and it could very likely result in some significant rainfall early next week over the Tennessee Valley. I'm talking about the remnants of Ida, and certainly the last thing that is needed in the Tennessee Valley is more significant rain, but it's possible early next week. And then it turns to the north and east, and it certainly can bring some heavy rainfall to the mid-Atlantic region by the middle part of next week, let's say Wednesday or Thursday time frame. So let's wrap up here with a look at another model, the European model run. And let's just take a look, one forecast map. By the way, this comes from WSI Incorporated. This is the forecast map by the 0Z European model for Sunday evening. Very, very similar to the GFS. Powerful hurricane, perhaps a major hurricane at this time, just on the doorstep of Louisiana. So really, two of the main models, NOAA's GFS model and the European model, have a similar solution with a powerful hurricane closing in on southern Louisiana by late in the day on Sunday. That's it for now. For ParatonWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorsey.